Hi everyone, I'm Jo Barker. Welcome back to my crafting, mainly crochet YouTube channel. But today, we're not doing any crochet. I'm trying a new craft today. I am going to be trying glass engraving. So I've picked up this mini Swiss glass engraving kit. So there's no drills with this one. It's meant to be like all handheld tools. It didn't cost me much, just over £10. So inside the kit here we've got a piece of practice glass to use. We've got two of these diamond edged engraving tools, one thick, one thin. Got some instructions here and we've got a template. Now, when it came to the instructions, it's pretty simple. It's simply saying either trace your image directly onto the glass or try and transfer by sketching out in something you can remove onto a glass surface, and then first using the small engraving tool, do all your outlines, and then start to go in with your thicker engraving tool. The engraving tools are diamond edged, diamond tipped. And while there is a template sheet available, it's of these beautiful, quite complicated looking boards, which aren't really my style. The leaflet does include not QR codes, ordering codes for you to order the other templates as well. But I decided to jump straight onto Pinterest and have a look to see what some other people are doing. And what I found on Pinterest is that a lot of designs that are being used for glass engraving actually correspond to tattoo designs. They seem to be quite interchangeable, so I found that quite interesting. And I also found people using tattoo ink to help transfer their designs onto glass or mirrors, especially to be able to get their designs to flow. So that's something interesting that I'll want to keep in mind for the future, because if I do like this, I am going to invest in a powered glass engraving tool. So it's like a little drill, I believe, that you can use. So I'm going to have a go with this hands only set first, see where it goes, and then if I like it, there may be another video in the future where I do some more with it. Right, let's start off with this practice piece. Now, as I said, I went onto Pinterest looking for patterns and designs that I could use, and I actually found this tattoo of lips. I do quite like it, so I've sketched it out on my own paper, making sure it's to the size of the practice glass. I've also secured the glass down with some double-sided tape. That is actually recommended in the instructions to secure your work, and well, you can understand why. So I am just trying to get all of the outlines here done. It is a little tricky, I must admit. It is tricky to keep your direction working. I didn't expect this with glass being so smooth, but there does seem to be a direction where the tool will naturally travel to on the glass. I don't really know how to describe it. The nearest thing I could describe it to would be woodworking. That in woodwork, there's a grain to the wood. And when you are like engraving into wood or cutting it, there is a way the wood wants to cut or it wants to travel. And it does seem to be the same for the glass as well. In certain directions, I was fighting the natural grain of the glass, and that is really not something that I thought would happen. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm a beginner. I'm using the lovely felt that came with this piece to continue to try and clean up my work as I go. In the instructions, it did show a few examples of like cross hatching, what you would do to shade in with biro pen as a way to fill in areas with your glass design. But to be honest, that isn't something I would want on my glass designs. So instead, I have literally tried to simply scratch in and like scribble and try and fill in all of the gaps. And I have to admit, when I was doing this, I wasn't happy with it. And the reason why I wasn't happy with it was because I wasn't getting a consistent scratch. And it did become difficult to see on the white paper. And that is another thing that they actually do say in the instructions is to, when at all possible, to actually work over a dark surface, such as the black felt that they provided. As you can see here, I've just used the front of my notepad. And while it did look a lot more filled when it was on paper, when it's gone onto a dark surface, you can actually see there are loads of bits missing. You can see it does look quite scruffy. And at this stage here, this was really bugging me, but I decided just to persevere and just keep on going. Because at the end of the day, this is a practice. I am trying to see how I can use this technique in the future, not necessarily using the technique as it is meant to be used, but seeing if I can incorporate my art, my design ideas with glass engraving. And you can see here at the tip of the lips, that is the finish that I am trying to get towards. And it does seem to be a case of perseverance, that to get the result I want, I just have to continuously work at it. And I have to admit, while doing this, I did think that actually the power drill would give me the effect I wanted much easier than this. But I think I would actually go in with the hand tool and do all of the edge work first and then go in with a drill. You see again there, just at the edge there, I was finally getting the finish that I actually wanted. Oh, and do you like my nails? My second set of nails done over the summer holiday by Twin 2. Yeah, I have to admit at this point, when I started to get close to the effect that I was actually after, this did actually give me some confidence to keep on moving on with this. I think at this point, if I hadn't gotten some sort of results, I would have quit. And with this being a first attempt and not truly following the instructions and trying to get a look I'm completely satisfied with, I probably kept working on this longer than I should have. It was a case of, I'm pretty sure I can get this better than that. I'll try and do just that little bit more. And, you've just got to know when to stop with some things. And I clearly don't know when to stop. I was actually recently doing a painting for Twin 1, and I did have difficulties knowing when to pull back. And if it wasn't for the fact that I kept having to wait for layers of paint to dry, I can honestly say I probably would have ruined it. I definitely do like the fact that I chose to let Twin 1 do some like graffiti background for it, and she's happy with it, and I am somewhat happy with it. I'm definitely happy with how Cat Noir turned out. I do think Ladybug's face is a bit off, but this is a huge canvas. It's like over A1 size, so she's happy with it, and that's the main thing. So now that I've finally stopped myself from doing any more work on the lips, I decided to try and do some more fine line work to see if maybe just using lines without colouring anything in would make any more difference, and to really see how my control was progressing with these tools. Oh, and by the way, This isn't actually me sketching here. This is Twin One. This is Twin One's heart down here. And this heart here was actually done by Twin Two. And that heart was done by me. As you can see, there's definitely already been an improvement. So now that I've done my practice one, it did get me thinking, where do I want to go from here? What actually would I use glass engraving for? And the simple answer is that I would most likely use it on mirrors. Okay, so I've had this old mirror of mine for, must be 2 years now. I originally tried to cover it all with paint markers, and even after I sanded it back, it just wouldn't cooperate. So it's always just sort of been left there in a corner. So I thought, well, I might as well use this mirror to see if I can do the glass engraving on it, see how it looks. If it looks terrible, well, I haven't lost anything precious. And if it looks great, maybe I'll try and save the entire mirror. So what I'm wanting to do is a chain running up one side of it with this lovely heart cut out in it. This is a design I found on Pinterest. There'll be a link to the Pinterest board that I've created for glass designs in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head what I've called it. I think I've called it glass and mirror art, but I'll put the correct title up. Don't worry about that. So, as this is a mirror, I obviously can't put it on top of a piece of paper and trace my design through. So instead, I drew the design to the exact size I wanted it and cut it out, creating a template that I could then use the engraving tool to then trace around. So I've used double-sided sticky tape to actually keep it onto the mirror. This double-sided sticky tape has saved my butt so many times, and I do know that it comes off glass quite well. It's something that I have used before, so I don't have any worries about that. Oh, I have also cleaned this mirror, but it does seem to have some imperfections that are actually underneath the glass. But as I say, it's a mirror that's just been hanging around for ages. I actually think I did originally buy it from a charity shop as well, so as I say, if this goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes right, yay. You know, the tracing actually went really, really well. So then I took the paper off and I deepened the lines, going over everything. And then looking at it, I don't know, something looked off. So even though I did not intend to colour in, scratch in any of these pieces, I decided to. I decided that some of these chains and the heart did actually need a bit more depth to them. So I went for it. And I was starting to get the effect that I was actually after. But it just didn't seem smooth enough for me. So then I got the idea to actually get some sandpaper and see if I could literally use the sandpaper to smooth out the areas that I had scratched. And this did seem to work. It did seem to get closer to the effect that I actually want, which I actually want from it. But I am definitely going to be looking at investing in a powered glass engraving tool. I do feel that is what I need. So I am actually really happy with how this has turned out. I am really liking the look of it. But then that's left me with a mirror that I like and a terribly, terribly destroyed frame. So I'm going to wrap it. I am going to wrap this whole frame in my metallic t-shirt yarn because it's just sat there and I can't really use it. So why the hell not use it on this? And if anyone was wondering how I attached this metallic t-shirt yarn to this wooden frame, well, my old friend double-sided sticky tape came in again. I will never ever regret buying 100 rolls of this when I saw them on sale in Hobbycraft, because I have used it so often and for so many things, and it is just absolutely lovely to use. Honestly, if you're in Hobbycraft and you see their double-sided sticky tape in piles, go get it. It's brilliant. And here it is, all wrapped. And now I just need to put the mirror in. Obviously, with there being yarn around the frame now, it is a bit more of a snug fit. And here is the finished mirror, which needs a clean. So let me clean it up and show you a better picture. And here you go. Here's a much better view of it. You're also not having to stare up my nose. This has turned out not exactly how I thought it would, but there is definitely something here that I really, really like. And as you can see, I've got my backing here all secured. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. So I will be investing in a glass engraving drill, and you will most likely see more things like this in the future on this channel. See you later, YouTube.